It appears I miscalculated the odds of your ability to escape that trap. You are, however, too late. Eden was activated as soon as I entered this room. It cannot be deactivated as long as I, the master key of this island, remain here in this control room. All that remains now is to wait for Eden to enter transmission range and send the command to execute the reinitialization of this island. Once that command is received, the 10,000 workers aboard Eden will execute it immediately. My estimates indicate their work will be completed in less than 5 minutes. Now that Eden has been activated, any further interference from you will remain on file, thus tarnishing my operating record. Fortunately, you are suffering from memory loss and fragmentation. Therefore, as keeper of this island, I hereby exercise my prerogative of correctional dispensation.
Prerogative of correctional? What?
Allow me to rephrase. I will exercise my authority to terminate your program. Ready? 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 Most impressive. Ready? 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 That's good enough. Ready? What was that? Please give up. How was that? Defend yourself. How was that? My. It would appear that I have made an error.
No!
You were nearly successful in terminating my life support subroutine functions. But do not be disappointed. It appears it will take longer than anticipated for Eden to reach its optimal altitude. If you can terminate me before then, you will be able to stop it. Assuming you are capable of deactivating me.
What?
Are you ready? It appears I was in error assuming that a bureaucratic model such as myself would be able to best you in hand-to-hand combat. However, I was successful in keeping you occupied long enough for Eden to achieve optimal altitude before you could interfere. This is Mega Man Juno, Bureaucratic Model 3rd Class, Authorization number 8677, requesting a reinitialization of this island's systems and a memory backup of its bureaucratic systems.
Stop! Stop it!
If you wish to shoot me, please do not hesitate. My program has already been backed up in Eden's Central Core. I eagerly await my next activation.
Eden systems ready, awaiting confirmation. Requesting backup of bureaucratic model Mega Man Juno complete. Execution of Catalog's reinitialization program will commence in 100 seconds.
What should I do?
Interrupt command. Priority command rerouted to Purifier First Class Mega Man Trigger. Under suspicion of malfunction, Bureaucratic Model Third Class Juno has been deactivated by Mega Man Trigger as per Ordinance 103. Mega Man Trigger hereby requests the indefinite postponement of the previous reinitialization order and the deletion of Bureaucratic Model Juno's backup data. Trigger hereby assumes all bureaucratic authority for the district and will petition Mother for guidance at a future date.
Command reroute acknowledged. Priority given to Purifier First Class's command. Eden resuming standby mode and returning to pre-designated coordinates. Deleting log of Purifier First Class's correspondence as required by security ordinances. Requesting that notification to Mother be carried out by Purifier First Class, present bureaucratic authority, Trigger.
Data?
There's nothing to worry about anymore, Mega Man. Everything should return to normal shortly.
Do you know who I am?
I'm your peripheral memory storage device. You originally created me so your memory couldn't be scanned by Mother, too. I can't tell you anything yet, but soon I'll be able to tell you everything. What you are, why you lost your memory, your original function, and mission.
Mega Man! Mega Man! Blasted contraption! It's always breaking down at the worst time!
Mega Man, are you all right?
Yep, I'm just fine.
Gramps and I were working on the radio forever, but couldn't get it to work.
Mega Man, you won't believe what we saw. I'm glad these old eyes of mine lasted long enough to see it.
Calm down, Gramps. He's been like this ever since... Huh? Mega Man? Are you all right?
Oh, it's nothing. Really. I'm sorry that I scared you.
You're always running off like that, making me worry myself sick over you. But somehow, I know you'll always make it back. I have faith in you.
Thanks. See you soon. Data, let's go!
Ready? Mega Man?
Ready.
All right, we're ready to go anytime you are.
Thanks, Ro.
Tell me, do you really have to go so soon? After all you've done for us, please stay a while longer. We haven't had the chance to thank you properly.
Well, it's not that we don't want to stay. It's just that we've got some unfinished business that we've got to take care of. Right?
Yep.
That's right. Besides, now that we've got a refractor for the flutter, it's time for us to go.
If you must go, won't you at least come to town and say goodbye to everyone?
I suppose we should at least say goodbye, eh? Hey, Mega Man, why don't you go? Give him our best.
It would mean so much to everyone.
Go on, Mega Man. And say goodbye to the Junkman's wife for me.
Okay, I'm going.
Thank you so much for your help. Take care of yourselves.
Bye. Take care.
Goodbye.
See you later, Amelia.
Goodbye.
After all that, we still didn't find out anything about your mom and dad. Or the Motherlode.
Well, it can't be helped. It's not like we meant to come here in the first place, right? But everything worked out in the end, right?
Yeah.
Hey, Mega Man, did something happen while you were underground?
Huh? Yeah. Well, not really. Don't worry about it.
Well, I don't know, but don't ever forget that I'll always believe in you, okay?
Roll!
Mega Man, roll! Look outside! The island!
Mega Man,
Okay.
what is it?
Whoa! Roll left! Left!
Huh? Okay. Hey, isn't that...
They all came to see us off.
Thank you so much!
I hope those of you at home are watching. Our brave heroes are taking off, heading for new adventures. As you can see, the people of Catalogs have come out to send them off and wish them well.
Hey, everybody!
They were all really nice people. Maybe we'll come back here and see them again.
Yeah.
Okay, setting new course. Here we go!
In about an hour, we'll be arriving at our destination, Catalogs Island. Double-check your equipment readings and make sure everything's in working order. I swear this treasure will be ours or my name's not Bond. Let's do it!
Gramps, can you open up the number 11 valve again?
Got it!
What are you looking at? Oh. Ah! It's a dog! Oh, what happened this time? I can't
Let's go.
That's it.
Fire!
Keep it up.
It looks like they're serious. They want to go out fighting just like cornered rats. On your toes, everyone!
No more playing around. I'll show them. Everyone ready? We're moving out. Roger. It's not over between you and me. I won't forgive you if you die or anything stupid like that. So be careful in there, okay?
Come on, hurry up! He's getting away!
This is Mega Man Jr., bureaucratic model third class, authorization number 8677, requesting a reinitialization of this island systems and memory backup of its bureaucrats.
Stop! Stop it!
Eden systems ready. Awaiting confirmation. Requested backup of bureaucratic model Mega Man Juno complete. Execution of Catalog's reinitialization program will commence in 100 seconds.
What should I do?
Interrupt command. Priority command rerouted to Purifier First Class Mega Man Trigger. Mega Man Trigger hereby requesting indefinite postponement of the previous reinitialization order and the deletion of bureaucratic model Juno's backup data. Well, I don't know. But don't ever forget that I'll always believe in you. Hey, everybody! They were all really nice people. Maybe we'll come back here and see them again.
Yeah.
Okay, setting new course. Here we go!
Well, there they go. Not a care in the world. Hey, Tron, can't this thing go any faster?
No, it can't. I had to gather up all the spare parts from everything he blew up to build this. That's right! That's right!
We'll just have to rough it until we get to the next island. If we sell what we found, we'll get back what we lost and then some. We'll live like kings! Who would have thought there was such a huge refractor down there, and all we had to do was just wander in and pick it up? I told you we'd have the last laugh!
That's assuming we make it to the next island without sinking. Oh well, at least he's in a good mood. Babu, Babu.
in a world covered by endless water.